Yeah, and we're in a bomb shelter with books because what do you do when war starts? You read fucking books.
You read books about hope, about.
What, you mean with the Bible?
About Anna Frank's.
No.
You read about
that is the least hopeful book I've ever.
Well, but you.
Where's the hope in Anne Frank? She didn't survive.
Well, the book survived.
Yes, that is true. Apparently World War III is going to start.
Apparently, okay.
Whenever Israel has a conflict with Iraq, Lebanon, Hezbollah, they always say what? We are going to bomb them, right? They've never figured out that, well, there are other people that live here, there are Arabs, there are Greeks, there are Armenians. What the fuck did we do?
Because
they always want to bomb us.
The West treat us in the Middle East, it's like we in fire. So whenever there is fire, there's problem in the Middle East. So how do you put down the fire? You kill everyone.
You kill everyone.
That's the idea. And I think that now what they're talking about now is a third world war, basically in the Middle East.
But they're still gonna bomb us. Look,
they will bomb us, of course. We the playground of the world civilization. But I
just don't get the threats that they make. In 2006, when there was war with Lebanon, right? Nasrallah went on TV and said, "We will bomb Haifa, وبعد Haifa."
Yeah.
You're like, dude, hold on. The third Ba'ad is us. What did we do to you? Why is it every time that they want to bomb somebody, we're always caught up in the middle?
Because we're the weak man. Because we don't bomb anyone. We need to kind of work out in our force a little bit. So we're not like just everyone slapping us on each side. So we need to become unbombable. We are very bombable. Anyone who want to bomb, we're like, yeah, please welcome, ahlan wa sahlan. Then they bomb us. We need to change that narrative.
So how do we change?
I don't know.
Our bombing capabilities?
I don't know, but it's really sad. I mean, the Lebanese must be really, really feeling even worse. The Iraqis now, the Americans and the Iranians are fighting each other in Iraq, and the Iraqis are dying, and they're bombing their countries every day, and it's just not fun.
You need an iron dome, an iron dome, an iron dome.
Everyone should have an iron dome around his house.
You want to fight it out? Fight it out, but your precision has to be better, man. Until we figure out how.
Come on,
you want to
the poor, the marginalized, the
but it's not supposed to affect them.
It's the one who died all the time in the war. I mean, that's just the sad reality of war. That's why we shouldn't be pro-war, Apple.
I'm not pro-war. I'm just saying get your position right if you do want to start war. Because if you say Ba'ad Haifa, Ba'ad Haifa, your position is off.
The collateral damage, the civilian pressure, it's part of the war. You want to create a pressure and devastating in the country. I mean, Trump speak about targeting Iranian cultural facilities and stuff. I mean, that's the ugly truth about war. There is no ethical war. I don't think. You think there's ethical war?
No, there isn't an ethical war.
Yeah,
but look, we have lived as human beings. We've lived more with war than we have lived without war.
That's a very sad.
It's part of our genes. It's part of our animal instinct.
So what about the third war? Do you think there will be a third war?
I was telling the guys that are behind the camera that I don't think there's going to be a war in the region. At least not a huge war with Iran. But yet again, who the fuck knows what goes around here?
Especially when you have nutcases in offices of power.
Yeah.
You just really don't know what's going to happen.
But which nutcase? I mean, there are a lot of nutcases. But which one do we like?
I'm applying for American visa, so I'm not gonna say who.
So you're No, I don't think there will be war. But it's trending, and sometimes when things trend, then you make the possibility much more viable, right?
But I think the Middle
East, put the idea of war.
Yeah, of course.
And then they'll do it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a few years ago, no one's like, a war in Iran? No. America, Iran? No. And now we already seen that they already stepping on each other's foot.
What are we going to do if war starts?
Exactly.
Do you have an idea?
What's the plan? Our plan B.
So there are two things that I've heard.
So the plan A is we set up, we start the war. Plan B, what do we do?
You and I and our friends, I think, look, I've heard from Serbs during the U.S. bombings on Belgrade. I have yet to meet a Serb that remembers the bombings. When you ask them, what did you do during the bombings? They're like, man, I don't know, blackout. Yeah, we drank our way through the war.
I can't drink, it's haram.
And in Bejala, that's haram. Yeah. And in Bejala, during the second intifada, during the siege, a lot of Bejalis used to buy kebab meat and alcohol And every night during the curfew, they chose a house.
Wow, this is interesting. This is
like we'll go to this house, we'll go to that house. And they spend the whole night there, just getting drunk.
This is their mechanism of surviving war.
This is the mechanism of surviving. That's the only way, I guess, to survive war when it happens. Just, to become, detached from it, to not feel it. We'd probably have to do that. But in Jerusalem, we don't have that group that is willing to, get drunk every night.
We're probably gonna hug the stones and say, "No, not this building. It's 3,000 years old. No, not this building." And then
that will be
we'll
definitely.
Die weeping. I think the best strategy is to try to
die hugging a building.
I think that's what Jerusalemites do.
They
will just go into a building and like, "No, not this one. This is Mamluk. No, this is Ayyubid. No, this is Roman. No, this is Byzantine. This is blah blah blah." And they're gonna start crying on the stones and not actually crying on their life that is actually being shattered.
Wow, that was the most racist thing you've ever said.
It's not racist. It's just
you think people here prioritize their buildings more than they prioritize their own lives or their kids' life?
Oh yeah.
Look at you,
no, not their kids' life. Don't put it that way.
I thought you were
people
liberal.
Here value. No,
that was racist.
It's not racist.
It's something that I would say.
No, it's one of the Jerusalem. Because you're racist, I'm not usually.
I'm openly prejudiced.
Oh, okay.
I don't hide it.
It's like you're choosing your words now very carefully, huh?
Hey, after the whole mansplaining thing episode that we have, I'm trying to be a better man.
But don't you think
emphasis on man?
Don't you think that in Jerusalem, the stones of Jerusalem is often treated with a higher value than actually the people who live in Jerusalem?
For tourists. Tourists do that. Locals, I don't think so. That's a very good question. I think when tourists come here, they don't see us, or if they do see us, they see us through the prism of the stones, right?
Yeah.
We are the one who lives in the city. Yeah. You're the one that lives in. You're like, yeah, but I also go out of the old city most of the day. I'm not in the old city, so they see us in the stones.
That's nice.
But the locals, I don't think the locals because if you
should go out and ask people like
how do you see me?
No, no locals. What's the value they put on their stones and their houses? I think there's a lot of emphasis on the fact that they live in a historic city and the city is very ancient and holy and important and the focal point and so on. So people do really see the value of stones quite a lot in Jerusalem.
Look, when there is a war here, which we still haven't figured out what we do, we don't have bomb shelters.
No,
we don't have bomb shelters.
We don't.
But I met a girl here that apparently has an earthquake room on the 6th floor. You're like, that doesn't really help. First of all, there are no earthquakes. It's like once every 200 years.
Probably had a local engineer.
It's like, you don't need a bomb shelter. You need an earthquake room on the 6th floor. That will save you during an earthquake.
Do you think people in Jerusalem will pray if there's war? They start to pray to stop the war?
Dude, people in Jerusalem will pray whatever the situation. When there's a war, they'll pray. When there's peace, they will pray.
So that's another thing we'll do. So we'll pray.
I don't mind that. I don't mind praying.
Praying for God who have allowed the war to start, that he's going to start to stop
This is the thing. When war starts here, I think the most confused party is going to be God. It's like a football game. You ever watch a football game where the players from both sides cross themselves?
Yeah.
You're like, well, you put God in a very awkward position right now because he's going to be like, who the hell do I support now? Wartime, this is the only thing about war though. If there is war here, Muslims are going to pray, Jews are going to pray, and the Christians are going to pray. Maybe this is the only time we'll figure out which one is right. Which one has the better contact with God. The one who wins. Well, we're going to they have the right God.
We can look at the history and we can maybe try some conclusions from there.
It's definitely not Christians then. We've been losing one war after the other here. I think we should stop trending war on social media.
So say there is no war, there's no war. There's no war. Who's speaking about war? There is no war.
You know what's funny?
But why are we doing this episode? We just decided that we're going to do an episode to speak about Third World War.
Yeah.
So
we're contributing to the.
We're contributing. I think
forget this episode ever existed, people.
Yeah, the point of this is to actually say, calm down. There is no war. Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna be drinking cappuccino tomorrow.
There is no war.
There is peace though.
Dude, I thought that I was bullshitting.
End on a positive note. If there's no war, there is peace. Or do you think there's a space between war and peace?
I think peace is boring. War is awful. Peace is boring. We need the middle ground.
One day peace, one day war.
It's schizophrenic.
It's like complicated relationship on Facebook.
Open relationship.
Open war peace relationship.
Open war peace relationship.
That's actually, I think it's called low level conflict, which is actually what we are in. Ironically, we don't have war, technically, you could argue, and we don't really have peace either. We're living in between. Or some people are better off than others in this situation. The Armenians have always took the sideline anyway.
Whenever there is war here, you're talking about us, the Armenians. Whenever there is war here, we usually we hide, and then when the war is over,
you stand with the powerful.
Hey,
no winner.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yes, maybe sometimes. Yeah, we're 800 people.
So that's your survival mechanism.
That's our survival mechanism.
No ethics whatsoever. You're standing whoever won the war.
Dude, we've been around for 5,000 years. You think we did it through moral principles and ethics? We did it through bribing, the powerful. Don't kill us. Okay, on that note of the Armenians being somehow a beautiful fabric of Jerusalem.
Because they make tiles, so they're really beautifying Jerusalem. The Armenian tiles.
Yet you guys are going to bomb the fuck out of the tiles that we're building for you.
But then you sell them like small pieces who survived the war, It's like it'll be...
it's going to be like the Berlin Wall, like if you get a piece of it, you sell it.
It will not be just like a wall from Jerusalem tiles. It will be like an Armenian tile from Jerusalem that survived the war.
Who knew there are value lies in post-war apocalyptic stone pieces?
The pieces of war.
All right, so...
There is no war.
There is no war. There will not be war.
Cheer up. Stay warm.
Stay warm.
Stay warm post-Christmas.
Yeah, and that's
looking forward for the spring.
Yeah.
And not the Arab Spring, the spring just here.
That was a failure, wasn't it?
It was...
It's a failure.
We'll wait to see. I think
Dude,
solutions takes time, man. It's not like...
It's been 10 years. How long do you need to wait and see whether spring is good or bad?
Oh, Tunisia is alright.
It depends on which day. Yeah. They're like this.
Yeah.
But Egypt decided, no, we're going to be bad.
Yeah, we're going
to go like this, Was there a spring here? Not really.
We're waiting for the Palestinian spring and the Israeli spring.
Whoosh. Then that is war. Cheers.